mātau I rai ngā pia, e whakaputāna I te rānei e, I runga I ngā tohu o te mātauranga e. Haere mai rā, haere mai rā.
Please be seated. E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā hau e whā. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Vice Chancellor, Pro Chancellor, Council members, special guests, staff, graduands, family and friends of graduands. As Chancellor of the University of Auckland, I extend a warm welcome to you all on behalf of Council members and staff of the University. In particular, I welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Andrew Grant. I also acknowledge the recent passing of Dr. Meremere Penfold, who was a long-term member of the University of Auckland staff, a distinguished Māori scholar, and for many years the kuia at our graduation ceremonies. This is a meeting of the Council of the University of Auckland for the purpose of conferring degrees and awarding diplomas. This week we will be conferring and awarding more than 6,572 qualifications on some 6,478 students in person and in absentia. At this ceremony, 509 students will graduate in person and 74 students will graduate in absentia. I will be assisted by Mr. Peter Kiely, Pro Chancellor. This is a happy and memorable occasion for you, the graduands, as well as your families and friends who have supported you during your studies. We congratulate you all. Equally, your achievement brings pleasure and satisfaction to the academic and professional staff of the university who have played their part in your success. Capping is a time for celebration. The graduation procession today brought academic flavour and colour to the streets of Auckland, and in this ceremony you will experience the pomp and tradition befitting your well-deserved day of celebration. Over a period of 130 years, the University of Auckland has become a comprehensive, research-led university with a strong international reputation. Today, there are more than 40,000 students and 5,000 staff. Moreover, we are New Zealand's largest research organisation with 1/3 of the country's externally rated world-class researchers. Within New Zealand, only our university is ranked within the top 1% of the world's universities. We also have a strong commitment to Māori education. Of all the Māori degree graduates in New Zealand each year, 25% come from one institution, the University of Auckland. For Pacifica graduates, the number is closer to 40%. The quality and international reputation of a university are fundamentally driven by the achievements of its people, and last year was an exceptional one for our academic staff, who won almost every form of recognition available to them in New Zealand. In July, Professor Alison Jones and Associate Professors Brian E. James and Cather Simpson won the National Tertiary Teaching Excellence Awards for sustained excellence in tertiary teaching. These awards mean that for the 11 of the last 12 years, our researchers have been recognised as amongst the very best in the country. In November, engineers Distinguished Emeritus Professor John Boys and Professor Grant Kovic won the Supreme Award at the Prime Minister's Science Prizes Awards for their work on inductive power transfer. Dr. Ben O'Brien from the Auckland Bioengineering Institute won the McDiarmid Emerging Scientist Prize for his groundbreaking work on artificial muscles, and Dr. Susie Wiles from Molecular Medicine and Pathology won the Science Media Communication Prize. Our staff also excelled at the 2013 Royal Society of New Zealand Awards, winning 4 major medals. The most notable was Distinguished Professor Dame Anne Salmon from Māori Studies, winning the Society's highest honour, the Rutherford Medal. This was awarded for her eminent work on Māori social structures and interactions within the European world, and on European explanation in the Pacific. She was also named Kiwi Bank New Zealander of the Year for 2013. And then yesterday it was announced that 6 of the National Centres of Research Excellence to be funded by the government. Of those, 4 will be hosted by the University of Auckland, and we will be a partner in the other 2. This is an outstanding achievement of our leading scientists, and I congratulate the directors, the teams, and all those who have contributed to this success. These achievements reflect the outstanding quality not only of our academic staff, but also of the students who work with them and the many professional staff who support them. A key part of our challenge for the future, and one that is clearly reflected in our strategic plan, is to continue to invest in a community of highly accomplished staff and students. An important element of that investment is ensuring that our teaching facilities are of the highest quality. To this end, the University Council completed in 2013 the purchase of the former Lion Brewery's site in Newmarket as the basis for a new campus, which will be integrated with the existing City and Grafton campuses. At Newmarket, work is well underway on construction of the engineering research laboratories. These buildings represent an investment of approximately $88 million to support our engineering research and postgraduate teaching for the benefit of all New Zealand. We will occupy the first of the new facilities in July this year. Work has also begun on the new science tower on the corner of Wellesley and Simon Streets. This major construction project represents an investment of more than $300 million. It will allow us to upgrade science teaching and research and integrate the School of Psychology and the School of Environment into the main science precinct. This will in turn free up the Human Sciences building for refurbishment as the Centre of the Arts faculty. Constant innovation is the cornerstone of a university such as ours. Innovative teaching and research is vital for long-term, sustainable economic growth of our country and social cohesion of our nation. This has never been more so than in the testing times we face in the wake of the global recession, the Christchurch earthquakes, and the yet-to-be-defined effects of global warming. Universities equip graduates like you, not simply for the jobs of today, but for future careers not yet imagined in an ever-changing world. So as you graduate today, please reflect on ongoing learning opportunities and consider the wide range of postgraduate options available to you at this university. Reflect on the changes in technology you have already experienced in your lifetime, and remember that most of the technology you will use in your future working career has yet to be developed or commercialised. I ask you to do this because we can never rest on our laurels, especially in a challenging and ever-changing world. Whatever path you follow as you go out into the world, I urge you as the alumni of New Zealand's leading university to never forget your alma mater, your university. We rely on our graduates for support, moral, political, and financial. Funding constraints are a perennial problem for New Zealand universities who are being asked to do more and more with less and less each year. In fact, in these hard times, we should be spending more on universities, not less. But don't worry, we will be in touch with you, and when we do, please lend us your support. But that is enough of the substantial issues facing us all as members of a 21st century university with high aspirations. Because today is your day, with the focus firmly on your achievement. At this ceremony, we honour your success, along with the support of your family, whānau, and others who have sustained you through your studies. I congratulate you and trust that you will long cherish the memories of your graduation today. I am pleased to introduce our next speaker, alumnus Andrew Grant, and of course an engineer. Currently based in Singapore, he leads McKinsey & Company's global public sector practice, and he is a member of McKinsey's global board. Prior to his current role, Andrew was Managing Director for Greater China from 2005 to 2009. I presume you mean McKinsey Greater China, based in Shanghai, and he led McKinsey & Company in New Zealand from 1997 until 2004. He was based in Tokyo, London, Santiago, and Sydney prior to this. In his 21 years with the firm, Andrew has advised clients in a broad range of industries and geographies, including basic materials and agribusiness, consumer goods, and the public sector. His professional focus is currently on helping to lead public sector institutions to solve their most pressing strategic challenges. Economic development, finance, and infrastructure are foremost amongst them. Andrew has written extensively on leadership and capability building. He has led several of McKinsey's own leadership development efforts, and until recently, he chaired McKinsey's internal partner election committee. Prior to joining McKinsey in 1992, Andrew was a structural engineer specialising in earthquake engineering. He won a Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford University, where he gained a Bachelor of Politics, Philosophy and Economics with first-class honours. He also holds a Bachelor of Civil Engineering degree with first-class honours from this university, and we are proud of his achievements. Welcome home, Andrew.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Well, Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of Council, members of the University, graduands, families and friends, I'm truly delighted and honoured to be sharing this special day with you. Today is a day of celebration, a day of recognition and acknowledgement of significant achievement. But it is also a day of expectation and excitement. Expectation in terms of how you, as a talented young person, or talented and young at heart, will fulfil your potential, and excitement in what you might achieve and the positive difference that you will make. For many years, I've been a student of what it takes to help young, talented people achieve their full potential. What are some of the ingredients that help shape raw talent into real delivered performance? And in my own organisation, McKinsey & Company, I've had the privilege of being responsible for helping some of the world's most talented people on this journey. With this in mind, there are 4 ingredients that I think are key to unleashing potential that I'd like to leave you with this afternoon. Firstly, aspiration. Secondly, luck. Thirdly, resilience. And fourthly, mentors. Let's start with aspiration. There is genuine power in having a bold aspiration. As Kiwis, and particularly as engineers, we often default to being safe, conservative, and even apologetic about our aspirations. But today, I would encourage you to be bold. You are entering a world that has never been better suited to the skills of an engineer. The demand for global infrastructure, the pace of technological change, and the complex and interconnected problems that the world must address. The skill sets that you have as engineers have never been more suited to the challenges of the global world, the global marketplace that you are now entering. coupled with these opportunities, today I genuinely believe you are receiving an engineering degree that in its intrinsic quality is genuinely amongst the world's finest. We need you to be bold. In fact, I would challenge you with the old saying, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. Secondly, luck. Now you might say, well, that's particularly helpful, telling me that I must be lucky. But there is no doubt that luck plays a genuine role in helping folk achieve exceptional results. However, maybe not quite as you think. To quote Jim Collins, the well-known management author, it turns out that when we rigorously defined and quantified luck, the best performing leaders were not luckier, they did not get more good luck, less bad luck, better timing of luck, or bigger spikes of luck than the less successful companion cases in our research. However, they did achieve a higher return on luck. They took whatever luck events they got, whether good luck or bad luck, they recognised them, they seized them, and they made the very most of them. The question for all of us is not whether we will get luck, we will all get a mixed bag. But what will you do with that luck? When you get that opportunity, when you get that break, will you embrace it with both hands? Will you run onto the ball that's offered? Or will you meekly sit back? I really encourage you as young people entering into the workforce, entering into the world, that you really do think about that notion of how do I maximise my return on luck. We all get our own mixed bag. Thirdly, resilience. I'm a father of 5 children, which takes a lot of resilience in itself. However, my kids have taught me a lot about resilience, particularly my middle son, Jonty, who you might describe as an original. Nearly 10 years ago, my family and I moved to China. My wife, Elle, and I were determined that our kids would not miss out on some of the defining aspects of a Kiwi childhood, particularly for our boys, Saturday morning rugby. So one Saturday morning, in fact the second Saturday that we arrived in Shanghai, I was focused on the steering wheel. At that time in China, I was driving while 500 million people were learning to drive at the same time. So one needed to stay focused on the road. But my middle son, Jonty, had undone his seatbelt and he'd stood up and he was annoying his older brother. So, of course, I turn around and say, Jonty, sit down. No response. I put on my best, sternest parenting voice, Jonty, please sit down. Still no response. So I have to escalate. Jonty, if you don't sit down now, you'll get a smack. Now remember, this was China 10 years ago. That was all allowed. It was above board. Finally, I have to raise it to the nuclear level. Jonty, like his mother, is very artistically talented. So I said, Jonty, if you don't sit down now, you don't get to play with your art stuff for the next 2 weeks. All of a sudden, there's a thud. Jonty sits down. Then there's silence for about 10 seconds, and I hear, Dad, yes, Jonty, I'm sitting down now. I go, thank you, Jonty, I appreciate that. There's silence for another 10 seconds, and then all of a sudden there's, Dad, yes, Jonty, I'm still standing up on the inside. I can guarantee you that in your professional career, things will go wrong. Things will go pear-shaped. You won't get the promotion that you deserve that is fairly earned of you. You'll probably encounter executives who have a pathological dislike of engineers. But like my son Jonty, you need to stay standing up on the inside and draw strength from adversity. Resilience is one of the great, time-honoured leadership characteristics that I think this university teaches you in spades, and resilience built in this school will serve you extremely well. Mentors. Several years ago, McKinsey conducted an interesting piece of research, quantitative research, on successful business leaders. We took a group of 100 leaders who had demonstrably outperformed their peers after a 20-year career. And then we looked back to year one in their career and tried to understand from interviewing them, interviewing their peers, interviewing some of their superiors at the time, to see if we could identify any markers that were present in year one of their career that would indicate that they would go on to achieve the fantastic results and outstanding performance that we did. The number one marker that we found was the ability to proactively seek out mentors and sponsors who would provide them with counsel and guidance. Mentors are a vital ingredient in helping any talented young person achieve their potential. I have 3 asks for the graduands in the auditorium today with respect to mentors. Firstly, I'm certain that in addition to your friends and family that are here with you today, there is a mentor that played a significant role in you being here today. It might have been an inspiring teacher, an encouraging pastor, a neighbour who took an interest, or one of your professors or lecturers here today. Please don't let today pass without thanking them. Send them a text, write them a note, call them, but let them share in some of the joy that you have experienced being here today. Mentors served a great role in us being all here today. I'd like to also acknowledge a friend, Jason Ingham, who I went through engineering school with, who as a friend was a genuine mentor that encouraged and challenged me to lift my standards to a higher level. Secondly, reach out, be proactive, seek out your own mentors for the next phase of your journey. There are many professional engineers and other leaders who would love to help, love to provide wise counsel, that arm around the shoulder apprenticeship of helping to steer you in the right direction, of giving you wise counsel, of being a sponsor on your behalf. Please reach out. It truly does make a difference, and there are people that would love to help. And finally, be a mentor yourself. Don't underestimate the power of sowing the seeds of aspiration in others. Today, you have achieved something of real significance. Others will look up to you. Please pass it on, inspire others, and bring forward another generation of talented young engineers to follow in your footsteps. Remember this afternoon, aspirations. If your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. Secondly, luck. We all get our fair share, but it's about return on luck. Will you embrace the opportunity that you get given? Resilience. Like my son Jonty, you need to stay standing up on the inside. And mentors. Being a mentor, seeking out mentors, and thanking mentors. Congratulations on your wonderful achievement in what you have made achieve. It's an absolute joy to be celebrating with you this afternoon. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew, for a most stimulating and challenging address. Can you join with me in thanking Andrew again for his address? This is a meeting of Council and Convocation of the University at which the Pro-Chancellor, Peter Kiely, and I will be conferring degrees and awarding diplomas. I invite the Pro-Chancellor to award the diplomas and confer the degrees in the first half of this ceremony.
By the authority vested in me by resolution of the University of Auckland Council, I, Peter Kiely, Pro-Chancellor, award the diplomas and confer the degrees stated upon those who, within the Faculty of Engineering, have satisfied the requirements of this university.
I call upon the Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Professor Hyland, to present graduands in that faculty.
Pro-Chancellor, as Deputy Dean, I have the honour of presenting to you the students qualified for the award of a diploma or conferment of a degree in the Faculty of Engineering. Graduate Diploma in Engineering, Manajay Irfanian Sabai. Shuya Sasaki. Björn Strebing. Graduate Diploma in Engineering Transportation, Aaron James Taylor. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Second Class Honours, First Division, James Grant Harry Daniels. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering with Second Class Honours, Second Division, Daniel Philip Spencer. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering, Jessica Ann Barrow. Thomas Samuel Buxton Brealey. Hin Xing Chung. Malaka de Alwis Gunawardena. Anthony Rio Dean. Anahita Neville Dubash. Ming Sai Fung. Peter Wade Gillette. Jonathan Raymond Hewlett. Tumanako Francis Hona. Xu Feng Huang. Kaleem Jamil. Nipun Lakmal Jarawira. Taufa Kohalanua. Kyron Matthew Marsh. James Edward Muir. Priyanka Patel. Patrick Siosi Pereira. Samaratunga Mudian Salaga Samira Dilshan Samaratanga. Patricia Sandhu. Sean Edward William Seaman. Hyun Woo Shim. Katrina Fumi Steele. Timothy John Stringfield. Lincoln Sylvester Vaz. Wang Yichao. Wen Ting Shui. Jansen Josefin. Jie Zhang. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering Honours with First Class Honours, Nail Abdul Ghani Al-Masali in Civil Engineering. Thomas Peter Alexander in Civil Engineering. Ezra bin Arif Edwin in Civil Engineering. Akash Arora in Mechatronics Engineering. Rachel Julia Arthur in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Alan Mohan Bai in Computer Systems Engineering. Fergus George Bassett in Engineering Science. Senior Scholar Engineering, Alice Philippa Bates in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Nithi Reddy Batula in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Max Ray Biggs in Engineering Science. Sean Bissett in Civil Engineering. Joseph John Douglas Bowkett in Mechatronics Engineering. Laura Jane Bradley in Mechatronics Engineering. Moira K. Brady in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Brooke Emily Callan Barktive in Mechanical Engineering. Samuel Adrian Pardo Katapang in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Hamish Chan in Mechatronics Engineering. Wee Lam Sarah Chan in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Young Ho Cho in Mechatronics Engineering. Pei Fin Chua in Civil Engineering. Simon James Corkery in Mechanical Engineering. Hao Choi in Chemical Materials Engineering. Jane Elizabeth Cullum in Chemical Materials Engineering. Meredith Joy Dale in Civil Engineering. Dhruv Dur in Software Engineering. Lynn Nok Do in Mechatronics Engineering. Senior Scholar Engineering, Alexander Michael Donaldson in Engineering Science. Christian Navanitan Driver in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Senior Scholar Engineering, Jack William Dunn in Engineering Science. Matthew Scott Edmond in Engineering Science. Senior Scholar Engineering, Lauren Faithful in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Nandita Ivy Fernandez in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Shelley Fong in Biomedical Engineering. Aisha Manal Ghani in Biomedical Engineering. Georgia Jenny Gilmore in Engineering Science. Alan James Yoon Graham in Mechatronics Engineering. Zong Yu Gu in Chemical and Materials Engineering. David James Hammond in mechanical engineering. Jordan Christopher Gascoigne Harvey in software engineering. Stuart Alexander Harwood in electrical and electronic engineering. Ho Dian Yi in civil engineering. Rong Hua in electrical and electronic engineering. Ho De Huang in electrical and electronic engineering. Yo Kyung Jung in biomedical engineering. Nupur Yogesh Kaku in electrical and electronic engineering. Janhavi Neetan Kale in electrical and electronic engineering. Wolf Fisher Scholar and Senior Scholar Engineering, Alex Guy Kendall in mechatronics engineering. Shoaib Nafiz Khan in electrical and electronic engineering. Sinal Kumar in computer systems engineering. Ryan Bryce Kurt in computer systems engineering. Man Hei Jade Kwong in biomedical engineering. Richard Byron Lee in mechatronics engineering. Ho Fai Long in electrical and electronic engineering. Roy Ruawei Lin in software engineering. Xu Dong Lin in electrical and electronic engineering. Yi Liu in civil engineering. Ji Ray Liu in civil engineering. Thomas Aditya Loho in chemical and materials engineering. Yin Peng Lu in civil engineering. Samuel George Lucas in mechatronics engineering. Thomas Johan Lagnat in engineering science. Israel Machado McDonald in chemical materials engineering. John Benjamin McLaren in mechatronics engineering. Vainand Louis Malan in electrical and electronic engineering. Thomas Andrew McCarty in mechanical engineering. Alistair Kieran Joel McDowell in engineering science. James William McKeague in biomedical engineering. Caitlin Jennifer McLean in engineering science. Oliver Waiapu Timothy McMillan in civil engineering. Andrew Francis McQueen in mechatronics engineering. Xiao Ting Chen Meads in mechatronics engineering. Owen John Miller in chemical and materials engineering. Peter Edward Mills in engineering science. Un Hee Julie Manette in civil engineering. Kaisa Hannes Binti Mod Azmi in electrical and electronic engineering. Angus James Montgomery in civil engineering. Elizabeth Adele Morgan Coco in engineering science. Christopher James Mosen in mechatronics engineering. Thomas James Mulder in engineering science. Previn Dominic Nair in computer systems engineering. Krishan Shiva Nand in civil engineering. Anna Nayar in chemical and materials engineering. Jared Joseph Newman in engineering science. Senior Scholar Engineering, Grace Emily Napo in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Senior Scholar Engineering, Cahill O'Gorman in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Samantha Dale Oldfield in Biomedical Engineering. Jia Yen Oi in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Michael James Orr in Software Engineering. Jara Rico Parsonson in Civil Engineering. Nishant Patel in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Harriet Julia Peel in Mechanical Engineering. Jesse Owen Peters in Civil Engineering. Charlotte Emma May Peru in Civil Engineering. Amy Dina Mary Pitt in Mechanical Engineering. Hayden Arthur Porter in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Matthew Axel Prum in Civil Engineering. Olivia Rose Hyde Putnam in Mechanical Engineering. Daniel Quach in Biomedical Engineering. William Kwok in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Bhavesh Hemant Rama in Civil Engineering. Michael Ranjit Singh in Mechanical Engineering. Mung Lu Rao in Civil Engineering. Mung Yun Rao in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. James Harris Rapson in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Hayden Edward Reeves in Mechanical Engineering. Zachary James Malcolm Roberts in Computer Systems Engineering. Ashwin Skaria in mechanical engineering. Senior Scholar Engineering, Travis Steve Scott in computer systems engineering. Natalie Ann Segadin in mechatronics engineering. Yasmin Binti Sharafuddin in chemical and materials engineering. Senior Scholar Engineering, Hannah Rachel Sheehan in mechatronics engineering. Shravya Shrigari in biomedical engineering. Christopher Aidan Stanton in mechanical engineering. William Thomas Edmondson Strauger in computer systems engineering. Gregory Stewart Sumner in computer systems engineering. Shu Meng Sun in mechatronics engineering. Peng Sung Benjamin Tan in computer systems engineering. Sin Yi Ti in chemical and materials engineering. Yun Do Tsai in engineering science. Svetlana Ayarevna Veslogazova in mechatronics engineering. Senior Scholar Engineering, Charu Wadwa in software engineering. Noor Yao Wong in electrical and electronic engineering. Pei Yao Wong in electrical and electronic engineering. Shu Jen Wong in chemical and materials engineering. Ji Noah Wong in biomedical engineering. Dylan Howard Webb in engineering science. Ravindu Pasan Weerasekara in electrical and electronic engineering. Brett John Willis in electrical and electronic engineering. Benjamin Lee Wilshire in civil engineering. Andrew Chen Yang Wong in biomedical engineering. Lawrence Hao Run Wong in electrical and electronic engineering. Li Xie in mechatronics engineering. Hok Nubar Antranek Yagahobian in electrical and electronic engineering. Sandra Samir Yasi in civil engineering. Meng Bin Ye in mechanical engineering. Karishma Subramaniam Yelaswaram in civil engineering. Nicole Chung Mei Yip in mechatronics engineering. Tony Young in software engineering. Ma Li Zhang in electrical and electronic engineering. Diana Zhi Xin Zhang in biomedical engineering. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering Honours with Second Class Honours, First Division. Ahmad Munaim Ahmed Shafai in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Mahmoud Rad Al-Naib in Civil Engineering. Sarah Louise Anderson in Chemical Materials Engineering. Kathleen Jacqueline Appleby in Mechanical Engineering. Yi Ching Bao in Software Engineering. Suzanne Marie Bell in Mechanical Engineering. Betsy Ann Bent in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Jean Leslie Beveridge in Mechatronics Engineering. Owen Lamont Cribb Bodley in Mechanical Engineering. Alexander Simpson Borsboom in Software Engineering. Nicholas Anthony Brokenshire in Civil Engineering. Louis Brian Avila Bukir in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Hannah Suzanne Eleanor Burns in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Lara Suzanne Busson in Civil Engineering. Stephen Sam Scott Calder in Biomedical Engineering. William Bruce Cann in Mechanical Engineering. Pranav Chednani in Computer Systems Engineering. Nixon Leek Hung Chow in Biomedical Engineering. Marcus Andrew Law Child in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Rex Ju Yan Chu in Civil Engineering. Braden Joel Bosma Church in Civil Engineering. Achaleka Ahindra Kure in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Sophia Elizabeth Constance David in Mechanical Engineering. Caleb John Deverell in Civil Engineering. Alexander William Dixon in Biomedical Engineering. Alisa Marie Abayata Doctora in Civil Engineering. Daniel David Robert Edgar in Mechanical Engineering. Clinton John Eady in Mechatronics Engineering. Chelsea Rose Evans in Civil Engineering. Simon Alexander Burnett Farquhar in Civil Engineering. Oliver Saul Ferrick in Civil Engineering. Simon Lloyd John Ferris in Civil Engineering. Bevan Allen Findlay in Civil Engineering. Benjamin James Francis in Civil Engineering. Joash Jude Combs in Mechanical Engineering. Scott Alfred Goodhue in Software Engineering. Damesh Gordon in Mechanical Engineering. Sarah Claire McLaren Hall in Engineering Science. Mohammed Jude Ayman Hamid in Civil Engineering. Zachary Strawn Harris in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Ji Hao Hu in Mechatronics Engineering. Matthew Peter Hickford in Mechanical Engineering. Nicholas John Holtham in Civil Engineering. Niluki Tikshani Homer in Mechatronics Engineering. Kwan Ki Hong in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Daniel Joseph Hungerford Morgan in Civil Engineering. Tasnimul Islam in Civil Engineering. Tanya Ashanti Jayasuriya in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Philip Neil Johnson in Civil Engineering. Miles Gregory Johnston in Civil Engineering. Michael Francis Jones in Civil Engineering. Jun O. Jeong in Computer Systems Engineering. Balaji Karnan in Civil Engineering. Cassandra Gay Kenworthy in Civil Engineering. Ji Yun Kim in Civil Engineering. Tai Kyun Kim in Mechatronics Engineering. Carrie Jean King in Civil Engineering. Chun Kun in Civil Engineering. Cameron John Lee in Civil Engineering. Mu Chen Lee in Mechatronics Engineering. Billy Siang Lee in Computer Systems Engineering. Ku Dan Lee in Civil Engineering. Yu Yong Lee in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Shi Tun Liu in Biomedical Engineering. Ho Kwan Lo in Mechatronics Engineering. Margaret Shi Liu in Biomedical Engineering. Letitia Lum in Civil Engineering. Kiran Dayamakan in Civil Engineering. Poonam Rohit Mangabai in Civil Engineering. Mark William Melville in Civil Engineering.
Thank you, Pro-Chancellor, for conferring the degrees and awarding the diplomas in the first half of this ceremony. One of the great pleasures of graduation is the opportunity to hear performances by students from our acclaimed School of Music. Haiwan Su on flute, accompanied by Liam Wooding, will now perform Allegretto Pocho Mosso from Sonata in A Major by César Franck. Thank you, Haiwan and Liam, for that stunning performance. I'd like to acknowledge that Haiwan Su won second place in the Graduation Gala Concerto competition on Tuesday evening. Please will you all join with me in thanking Haiwan and Liam once again. By the authority vested in me by resolution of the University of Auckland Council, I, Parton Chancellor, award the diplomas and confer the degrees stated upon those who, within the Faculty of Engineering, have satisfied the requirements of this university. I call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Professor Nick Smith, to present further graduands in that faculty.
To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering Honours with Second Class Honours First Division, Alice Catherine Monk in Civil Engineering. Alistair Neil Munro in Engineering Science. Michelle Ann Murray in Mechatronics Engineering. Hayden Hartley Nan in Mechanical Engineering. Paul James Nichols in Civil Engineering. Timothy Bronson O'Brien in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Darashan Devon Patatan in Biomedical Engineering. Rohit Jarada Pantham in Civil Engineering. Dalpesh Bharat Patel in Mechatronics Engineering. NC Peng in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Edward James Phillips in Civil Engineering. Duncan Mark Pearce in Mechanical Engineering. Philip William Polwin in Civil Engineering. Kapilnath Ranganathan in Software Engineering. Danny Rasham in Computer Systems Engineering. Liam Ashley Russell in Civil Engineering. Manpreet Kaur Sandhu in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Richard Sebastian Schroeder in Mechanical Engineering. Thomas Ernest David Shilton in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Nelson Harry Corsa Smith in Mechatronics Engineering. Simon Michael Squire in Mechanical Engineering. Danny Sue in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Jayanath David Sandarison in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Wei Yung Tang in Civil Engineering. Anupa Rose Thomas in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Farhan Akbari Tinwala in Mechatronics Engineering. Ryan Chang Shen in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Rohan Nityanda Ananda Yol in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Narosha Yether Assam in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Nico Michael Usatolo in Software Engineering. Ravin Dayal Valab in Mechanical Engineering. Craig Melvin Vandaris in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Stephen James Waite in Engineering Science. Marcel Henry Voldwogel in Civil Engineering. Wan Ahmad Nazrin Wan Sabari in Mechanical Engineering. Sandra Wang in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Yewei Wang in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Yi Fong Deborah Wang in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Ji Chao Wang in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Ben Jordan Williams in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Christopher Jordan Wong in Software Engineering. Caitlin Samantha Wong in Civil Engineering. Karen Patrick Woods in Civil Engineering. Ji Wu in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Wu Jiyu in Civil Engineering. Shi Hang Jiang in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Bing Zhang in Civil Engineering. Robert William Middlemiss in Electrical Engineering. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering Honours with Second Class Honours, Second Division. Sadia Samiha Ali in Civil Engineering. Robert Roger Khan in Civil Engineering. Jay Yan Chai in Mechatronics Engineering. Fei Dong in Civil Engineering. Adrian William D'Souza in Mechanical Engineering. Alicia Colette D'Souza in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Sooma Sa'o Selela Fanning Malo in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Anthony Calvin Feek in Civil Engineering. Ignace Ferrara in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Michael Janan Ford in Software Engineering. Ruby Elizabeth Forrester in Civil Engineering. Hassam Gabriel in Mechanical Engineering. Chokun Go in Mechatronics Engineering. Darren Sen Govindasamy in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Linda Ann Bethana Loretta Granwell in Civil Engineering. Yuho Gu in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Michael Turner Hall in Civil Engineering. Ahmed Hamadadi in Civil Engineering. Sven Peter Hawken in Civil Engineering. Leon James Karaha Hayward in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Derek Yi Yang Hong in Civil Engineering. Chi Hu Shou in Mechanical Engineering. Sang Di Ki in Civil Engineering. Simon James Kemp in Civil Engineering. Daniel Tek Hong Ko in Civil Engineering. Joshua James King in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Lucas Cuz in Civil Engineering. Henry Whiteley Lambourne in Civil Engineering. Suman Lee in Software Engineering. Sean Cheng Long Leong in Computer Systems Engineering. Shan Wei Jan Lim in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Andy Shin Lu in Biomedical Engineering. Reese James Llewellyn in Computer Systems Engineering. Hang Nyok Lo in Mechanical Engineering. Tiffany Yi Ting Lo in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Queenie Ching Pyu Luk in Biomedical Engineering. William David Marshall in Civil Engineering. Lena Evangeline Allison Maxwell in Civil Engineering. Ryan Scott McInnes in Mechanical Engineering. Patrick Wilson Mellon in Civil Engineering. John Christopher Morito in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Thomas Robert Norcroft in Civil Engineering. Jigneshpai Kusurbe Patel in Civil Engineering. Peter Singh Patheja in Computer Systems Engineering. Jonathan David Paul in Mechanical Engineering. Matthew Ian Peacock in Mechanical Engineering. Michael Paul Colin Rogers in Mechanical Engineering. Bradley Victor Schrolger in Civil Engineering. Joyce Merrick Simmons in Civil Engineering. Durashkan Singh in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Jiho Song in Civil Engineering. Abhindev Suredra in Civil Engineering. Joel Howard Stott in Mechanical Engineering. Miao Chi Shu in Civil Engineering. Man Llewellyn Frankie Tam in Mechatronics Engineering. Marin Tokmatovic in Civil Engineering. Thomas Eric David Tremlett in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Sophia Wang in Engineering Science. Wei Yang Wang in Civil Engineering. Benjamin Watkins in Civil Engineering. Yibo Wang in Engineering Science. Jonathan T. Wrigley in Software Engineering. Kartik Yagnana Rananan in Mechanical Engineering. Stephen Anthony Yakis in Mechanical Engineering. Bin Tai Yang in Mechatronics Engineering. Morgana Yanato Yilana in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Fanying Zhang in Civil Engineering. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering Honours Conjoint with First Class Honours, Bridget Sue Wen Bay in Software Engineering and Bachelor of Commerce. William James Cato in Civil Engineering and Bachelor of Commerce. Sheena Kate Chen in Civil Engineering and Bachelor of Arts. Olivia Grace Curtis in Mechanical Engineering and a Bachelor of Arts. Zikong Yang in Mechatronics Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Senior Scholar, Business and Economics, Jingzhe Du in Engineering Science and a Bachelor of Commerce. J.G. Feng in Civil Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Cheo Yang Hang in Civil Engineering and a Bachelor of Property. Ainesh Krishnan in Mechatronics Engineering and a Bachelor of Science. Sinjin Lee in Biomedical Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Zealand Ma in Electrical and Electronic Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Fraser John McMillan in Engineering Science and a Bachelor of Commerce. Renuka Manakaran in Electrical and Electronic Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Zain Yosef Mosa in Software Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Saina Christina O'Connor Morberg in Civil Engineering and a Bachelor of Arts. Madeline Amelia Pemberton in Chemical and Materials Engineering and a Bachelor of Arts. Gopinath Ravi in Mechatronics Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Senior Scholar, Business and Economics, Emily Shu-Ying Shi in Chemical and Materials Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Audrey Tandiano in Engineering Science and a Bachelor of Commerce. Senior Scholar, Business and Economics, Zhou Shuer Yu in Engineering Science and a Bachelor of Commerce. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering Honours Conjoint with Second Class Honours, First Division, Galen Chen in Electrical and Electronic Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Mo Yi Chi in Chemical and Materials Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Evan James Fong in Electrical and Electronic Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Zoe Garrett in Chemical and Materials Engineering and a Bachelor of Laws. Bhavasuthan Yanasamputhan in Civil Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Samuel Andre John Hammond in Civil Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Nicole Yahan Su in Chemical and Materials Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Justin Chi Yong Kan in Chemical and Materials Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Ying Li in Chemical and Materials Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Andrew Peter McQueen in Civil Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Rosalind Margaret Payne in Civil Engineering and a Bachelor of Arts. Morgan Leslie Sharishka in Engineering Science and a Bachelor of Commerce. Holly Joyce Wolfe in Mechanical Engineering and a Bachelor of Arts. To the degree of Bachelor of Engineering Honours Conjoint with Second Class Honours, Second Division, Cyrus Jev Dale in Electrical and Electronic Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. Karaka Kalen Kaitha Sinatharambi in Civil Engineering and a Bachelor of Commerce. To the degree of Masters of Energy with First Class Honours, Rosalie Batang Fomentio. To the degree of Master of Energy with Second Class Honours, First Division, Samantha Lily Marlene Goodhue. Vishnu Sharan Kaduva Jaratharan. Terry Dardell Moore. To the degree of Master of Energy with First Class Honours, Sayed Adel Ali in Software Engineering. Aaron David Hodges in Environmental Engineering. Bernard Sven Jacobson in Civil Engineering. Juresh Singh Rangmalagan in Bioengineering. Jasprit Thin in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Kit Pugh Shu in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Angela Wang in Civil Engineering. Don Ni Sri in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Kun Yu in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Ming Zhao in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Conrad Richard John in Civil Engineering. To the degree of Masters of Engineering with Second Class Honours, First Division, Louis Few Mechanical Engineering. Cheng Lu in Civil Engineering. Chuan Quinn in Software Engineering. Paneth Mahuda Ratnayaka in Computer and Systems Engineering. Albie Yuan Shan Tang in Civil Engineering. To the degree of Masters of Engineering with Second Class Honours, Second Division, Wang Ragu in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Ting Ting Zhao in Bioengineering. To the degree of Masters of Engineering, Edwara Singh in Mechanical Engineering. To the degree of Masters of Engineering Management with First Class Honours, Nitwin Edward. Svenja Gurki. Vathanda Patharinalej Pathrap Jayawardhanan. Chi Hang Lee. To the degree of Masters of Engineering Management with Second Class Honours, First Division, Tumushkia Cooper. Sumit Podar. To the degree of Master of Engineering Management with Second Class Honours, Second Division, Matthew Joel Amu. Pinky Sagan Batistia. Mark Andrew John Rotherer. To the degree of Master of Engineering with First Class Honours Studies, Master of Engineering Studies with First Class Honours, Wesley John Cullum in Construction Management. Cecilia Bridget Lambert. Rishi Pandey. Ada Yuan Cho in Medical Devices and Technologies. Fiona Hinglang Tang in Transportation. Christopher James Tanner in Plastics. Shi Zhang. To the degree of Master of Engineering Studies with Second Class Honours, First Division, Yuan Zhuang Go. Pei Yu Fanny Ki. Chang Loi. Imran Mohammed in Construction Management. Devendra Nair. Anup Nandakumar in Medical Devices and Technologies. Ashwin Krishna Radha Krishnan. Harsh Serena. Yinglong Wang. Fabio Lacana Wendy Addy in Transport. Yuan Kang. Li Zhou. To the degree of Master of Engineering Studies with Second Class Honours, Second Division, Sahil Boraskira. Faizi Solomon Dokowala. Gaurav Gao. Raghu Kuriskirik. Sohabi Ijaz Majid. Ronald Capelli Manalali in Construction Management. Mona Masuri Garakaraki. Kevin Marithari Manyara in Food Process Engineering. Tak Singh Kevin Ning in Transport. Yashing Wang in Construction Management. To the degree of Master of Engineering Studies, Boyuan Hang. Yejun Kang. Jaideep Hashmukh Lakhani. Shijun Liu. Abner Antonio Santos Salingut in Transportation. Sanchit Sukala in Transport. Li Zhang. To the degree of Master of Operations Research with First Class Honours, Keith David Ruddle.
I now call upon the Vice-Chancellor to present the doctoral graduands.
Chancellor, I have the honour of presenting to you the doctoral graduands. To the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Thomas David Allen in Mechanical Engineering. Tom characterised the effect of reducing the stiffness in hull panelling on a high-speed craft. His findings will assist in developing lighter, faster, more efficient and safer marine craft. Timothy Robert Angeli in Bioengineering. Tim developed novel high-resolution electrical mapping techniques and applied these techniques to investigate the underlying electrical control of the small intestine. He translated his research to human surgeries with a future aim of developing clinical diagnostic and treatment options for intestinal disorders. Seung-Wan Choi in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Seung-Wan investigated controller design methodologies for networked control systems where a network is used to communicate between system components. This type of system has a wide range of practical applications, such as unmanned aerial vehicles, as the controller no longer needs to be close to the system. Seung-Wan. Richard James Woodrow Cross in Mechanical Engineering. Richard aimed his research at helping designers and engineers work together more successfully during the design of new products. He achieved this through developing a system that shows the likely effects of different types of decisions made by managers. Samuel James Harris in Civil Engineering. Using geotechnical engineering principles, Sam developed an early warning system for landslides caused by heavy rainfall events. The warning system provides motorists with a sufficient time frame until the landslide occurs to minimise damage. Sam. Christopher Michael David Hickey in Mechanical Engineering, University Doctoral Scholar. Chris investigated and quantified the influence of variation in process parameters on the manufacture of carbon and glass fibre reinforced composite materials, with a particular focus on marine manufacturing processes. This resulted in a range of strategies to improve part quality, consistency and efficiency across the New Zealand marine composites manufacturing industry. Meng Jung Ho in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Meng Jung investigated fundamental problems in cognitive radio systems with emphasis on interference control and exploration of new spectrum sharing methods which will increase overall capacity of existing networks. The opportunities in implementing these new systems are to be found within buildings where the interference for the primary users is controlled through the means of wireless sensor networks. Thank you. Shin Tien Ho in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Shin Tien investigated the mechanism of the gas-liquid trans-esterification reaction to produce biodiesel, a renewable liquid fuel derived from natural fats and oils. A mathematical model which describes this complex reaction was derived, contributing towards the future of renewable fuel production. Stephen William Carverman in Mechanical Engineering, University Doctoral Scholar. Stephen carried out a study to determine the strength and rigidity of layered building panels involving newly developed corrugated plywood material. Stephen. Sashi Kodapalli in Civil Engineering, University Doctoral Scholar. Sashi investigated the mechanism of flushing, which is one of the most prevalent defects that affect the structural integrity and safety of road pavements. The outcomes of Sashi's research will aid immensely with better management of flushing on roads, which in turn will result in significant financial savings for the roading industry. Sashi. Ho Yan Leung in Bioengineering, University Doctoral Scholar. Alex created new energy injection techniques for wirelessly powering implantable heart pumps. In October last year, his technology was used to power a pump, providing genuine life support. Ho Yan. Bo Miao Lee in Mechanical Engineering. Bo Miao proposed and developed a set of novel tools, methods and techniques to provide solutions for product knowledge management in small and medium enterprises, by which the reusability of product knowledge is highly improved. Iwei Lin in Civil Engineering. Iwei investigated the use of flexible sprayed mortar for the earthquake strengthening of historic unreinforced masonry structures. A cost-effective strengthening solution was developed that preserves the architectural character of the building and has been implemented on multiple buildings nationwide. Iwei. Paul Medrano Gracia in Bioengineering. Paul's research focused on the statistical analysis of heart shape. He created the biggest database of cardiac anatomy to date, which is now being used to predict the progression of heart disease. Majid Naderi in Civil Engineering. Majid investigated the performance of heritage steel buildings in New Zealand comprising moment-resisting steel frames with semi-rigid connections. Through experimental testing and numerical analysis, he quantified the behaviour of the as-built connections under simulated seismic loading and proposed and tested a novel solution for strengthening these joints. Niranchan Paskaranan Davadivu in Bioengineering. Nira developed and applied novel methods to quantify normal and abnormal high-resolution electrical recordings obtained from the stomach. These methods will be used to assist in the diagnosis of motility disorders of the digestive tract. Jaiman Kumar Subhashbhai Patel in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Jaiman investigated the performance of 5 different modified surfaces to improve milk processing efficiency and thereby to save available resources in the dairy industry. Jaiman. Waka Ahmed Qureshi in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Waka developed novel contributions for large wind farms connected to electricity transmission networks. The methods and techniques he designed, especially for serious grid disturbances, are applicable for renewable energy research and industry worldwide. Faiz Razul in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Networked control systems are a new frontier in control systems in which system components are spatially distributed over a network. Faiz developed novel stability criteria and controller designs for these networked control systems. Jan Marc-Andre Rouquier in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Jan investigated some of the mechanisms of alternate processing routes that lead to the formation of beta-O-sialon ceramics with a view to producing low-cost sialons for use in metal handling and refractory applications. Megan Rose Slotgis in Civil Engineering, University Doctoral Scholar, degree awarded jointly with the University of Birmingham. Megan's research developed a computer model informed by engineering knowledge to predict the likelihood that a section of road will fail and require maintenance. The system will assist governments in making informed decisions on maintaining their road networks. Megan. Richard Martin Stubbing in Mechanical Engineering. Richard investigated the use of optical deformation measurement for assessing the mechanical performance of polymeric foams in order to aid the design of the composite structures into which they are incorporated. Richard. Jamie Gregor Timms in Mechanical Engineering, University Doctoral Scholar. Jamie developed and validated a simulation of a manufacturing process for advanced composite materials. Process simulations of this nature are used throughout industry to reduce costs and improve product quality. Arif Probo Chayono in Mechanical Engineering. Arif investigated the properties of conducting polymers and their feasibility as a flexible sensor to be used in hand exoskeletons. Utilising the unique properties of conducting polymers, he developed a flexible sensor that is lightweight and low profiled to improve the portability and comfort of hand exoskeletons that enhance the user's experience. Jeffrey John Vickers in Civil Engineering. Jeff developed a theoretical framework for integrating sustainability into product design and applied it through an extensive case study of industrial electronics designer Actronic Technologies. Bob Wong in Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Bob developed novel methods to power heart pumps wirelessly to give better magnetic coupling tolerance and to improve the range for input source and output power. Athena Tianran Wu in Engineering Science. Athena developed innovative business analytics models for making investment decisions in an electricity system with intermittent power sources such as wind and solar energy. By optimising capacity decisions accounting for the short-term uncertainty in supply and the long-term uncertainty in electricity needs, her models supersede current industry best practice. Tim Susian Wu in Bioengineering. Tim developed a detailed computational model to simulate facial expressive motions with a view to developing a clinical tool for facial plastic and reconstructive surgeries. Changzhou Yu in Chemical and Materials Engineering. Victor studied the effects of sintering parameters, including impurity levels sintering atmosphere and alloy elements on microstructure evolution and mechanical behaviour of sintered titanium components. Poyan Zanani in civil engineering. Poyan developed an improved design approach for predicting the brittle failure of connections in timber structures. He also developed the design guide for timber rivets in New Zealand radiata pine lumber, glue lam and laminated veneer lumber. Poyan. Gulnara Zabalova in electrical and electronic engineering. Gulnara investigated how future power distribution systems can become more intelligent, robust and efficient using the Internet of Things approach. Gulnara. Xinghua Zhan in chemical and materials engineering, university doctoral scholar. Xinghua developed a simple, inexpensive and solution-based thermal method to grow spherical zinc oxide particles. The growth mechanism, morphologies and optical properties of zinc oxide spheres were investigated to explore their applications to light emission devices, optical logical elements and photonic crystals. Zhu Zhang in bioengineering, university doctoral scholar. Zhu developed statistically based computational methods for characterising the natural variation in the shape of the femur. These systems are now being used to design shape variations of other organs and design custom hip implants. And in absentia, all those other persons named in the official record qualified for the conferment of a degree or the award of a diploma in the Faculty of Engineering. Chancellor, council members, distinguished guests, graduates, families and friends of graduates and of the university colleagues. The celebration of graduation is a major event in the calendar of the university. It is also a minor miracle of organisation that we manage to repeat at least twice a year. The university salutes all the graduates who make it possible for us to celebrate your success. A successful graduation means that we must ensure that all 10 ceremonies proceed smoothly. That means checking results, communicating with and marshalling some 5,000 students to receive their degrees and diplomas. It is quite an exercise. On your behalf, therefore, I would like to thank those who made graduation not only possible, but I hope an occasion you will remember. So we want to thank the Auckland Grammar School Pipe Band and the Police Pipe Band who provided the music for our processions to the Aotea Centre. The organist, Dr. John Wells, who has played at each ceremony. The musicians from the School of Music who have performed with distinction at each ceremony. The speakers, each with an appropriate message. Members of the University Council, busy people who make time to join us on this special occasion. The Whai Karanga team who perform the karanga that welcomes everyone to each ceremony. The Kate Edgar Educational Trust, which provides many of the ceremonial caps, gowns and hoods, and the profits from which are used to fund scholarships. The staff of the Aotea Centre. The staff who taught you and made your graduation possible. Our staff who assemble the materials we use for graduation and ensure that nearly everything necessary arrives at the right place at the right time. The marshals who organise the various processions and ensure that almost everyone turns up at the right place at the right time. The mace bearers, Associate Professor Gary Barkhuizen, Associate Professor Marcus Wilson, and Dr. Douglas Carey. The traditional role of the mace bearer is to clear the crowds and escort and protect the official party. Happily, that hasn't been necessary this week. Behind the scenes are the staff of the graduation office led by Margaret Allen. They complete all the paperwork required for each student who graduates, all 5,000 of you. They ensure the ceremonies run to time. They slot those arriving late into their correct seats, and they have worked very long hours over the last few weeks to make sure that everyone feels that graduation is a special day. We thank Margaret and the graduation office team for an excellent job, and on behalf of us all, I would like to present Margaret with some flowers to recognise the effort that underlies graduation. Margaret, where are you? And finally, we must thank our Chancellor, Ian Parton, and Pro-Chancellor, Peter Kiely. They have together this week shaken over 5,000 hands, spoken to each graduate, and been greeted and photographed in many ways. The Chancellor has also prepared and delivered 10 welcome speeches. So thank you to everyone involved, and as always, thank you, Chancellor.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor. We're at the end of this ceremony. So on behalf of the University, I invite all today's graduates to stand and receive the congratulations of us all. And while you are standing, this would be a good time for you, the graduates, to show your appreciation of your families and supporters and the staff of the university who have helped you as they achieve their qualifications. Could you remain standing? This concludes this meeting of Council and Convocation of the University for the conferment of degrees and the award of diplomas. I now invite you all to stand and sing the first verse of God in New Zealand in Māori, then in English. The words are printed on the reverse of your program.